Hello again, everybody. This is Craig Evans of Autism Hangout, and thanks for tuning in to this installment of the Autism Hangout feature program series, Movin' Out. I first interviewed today's Texas-based guest back in 2009 when he described the concept of school and vocational training and resident campuses for our special kids. Now, at that time, he called this idea nonPariel, which means something of excellence that has no equal or match. Well, today, 2 years later, he's back to give us an update on this amazing work. So, Autism Hangout, please welcome today's guest, Dan Selec. Welcome, Dan. Nice to have you back.
Yeah, thanks, Craig. Thanks for having me.
I've been following your activities from afar. I know that you've been busy and having success. I know that you have residences on campus now, and I know that you're producing products. So, give us the update.
All right. Yeah, it's been a crazy journey. I tell you, we're growing like crazy. In fact, we're at capacity right now at 50 students.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been quite the climb. I think since last we talked, I had three when we initially talked back in 2009. We formally opened at the SMU in Plano campus. Well, last year right about this time, and since then we've just had explosive growth. We've gone from 9 to the 50 that we have today, and we've put a cap on it. Our waiting list is now filling. We're doing an expansion in July and August, and expecting to be somewhere around 100 students by the end of the year.
Oh my gosh. For those people that aren't familiar with nonPariel, let's talk a little bit about the concept of school training and campus and who it's for.
Absolutely, yeah. One of our taglines here is train, work, and live. And the premise of that is that our kids who are on the autism spectrum have these special technical skills a lot of time. At least they like computer games and things like that, right? Hey, I do too, so it's right up my alley. But what we do is we train them in these technologies, 3D, artwork, coding, things that would go into a computer game. And then they stay here and work. They certainly have the option to go outside and work if they want to, but they stay here and work on our projects and our games and our apps. And mainly we're targeting the iPhone and Android. And then ultimately, Craig, we're trying to put on the ground a campus environment where they live on the campus as well. 70% of the population that we have here at nonPariel today don't drive and never will. So if you look at that model, and we're kind of building our own little community, it works out pretty good, and we've had just really good feedback on this model as it exists today.
So your model is basically set up for those kids that are probably going to need some form of either group home or assisted living. Is that correct?
Absolutely, and our model is really based on, right up front, we really try to instill in them a sense of community, a sense of helping one another, and trying to eliminate, the government welfare programs, trying to eliminate having to have a one-to-one, relationship for maintaining, these kids' lifestyles and things like that. Let's help one another and build a community around each other that kind of helps us grow together.
Plus, you're helping the self-esteem factor by these kids being able to produce a product that is helping them provide for their own living. Now, there are two other ventures out there, Aspiritech out of Chicago and Special Listernet out of Copenhagen, where they're hiring kids with special abilities. Can you differentiate yourself a little bit from what these two are? I mean, how's nonPariel going to work in that environment?
Well, I think those are both great models, and in fact, we know Aspiritech. They're great folks. They've referred some students to us. What I really wanted to do, Craig, is when I looked at my own child who's on the spectrum, I can see that he has technical ability and technical talent. I think, for me at least, I really wanted to see these kids create content on their own, that's out of their own minds. That's where it gets compelling for me, not checking other people's work, or there's nothing wrong with that. But I wanted to see, if you give them the skills and you give them the tools, what do they bring to the table? That's where it gets interesting for me. And so that's what we're focused on.
Now, I know that you've got some people outside of your business that are interested in your business. If somebody is listening to this, what sort of a client prospect is out there for you? Who would we be talking to if we say you need to come to this campus to see what these kids can do?
Well, we have every day we have a call from some external business that wants to partner with us. So we're pretty careful about how we build these relationships. We just had a press release, in fact, go out yesterday, very late yesterday, about a business-to-business relationship we formed with Interact Books, which is available for the iPad. You download it, and you can buy, interactive books right there from the iPad. And it's a lot of fun. Well, we're partnering with them to help do the artwork and construct the actual book interactivity.
Oh, outstanding.
So that's a great relationship, right? It just fits both of our models very well.
Wow.
And then we have others, that we're looking at, and we're kind of picking and choosing and reaching out as it makes sense for both, partners.
Okay.
But that'll be a good core of our business, where we're not just building, the iPhone games, but we're also building some more serious business applications.
Dan, you'd mentioned you're doing work on the iPad. Have you got an example you can show us today of the kind of things your kids are doing?
Absolutely. This is our first release that's in the iTunes store right now. I'll try to get it anti-glarish here. It is a little application called a Soroban, which is just an abacus, but it's the Japanese version of the abacus. And this is built by our students. The sound, the music, all of the programming has been done, by our crew here at nonPariel. And so it's a nice little abacus that you can use. You can certainly play a little challenge game with it, where it gives you some things that you have to numbers that you have to put into it. And it also has a full-featured tutorial. So there's other Sorobans in the market, but this is the only one that actually has fully voiced-over tutorials to teach you how to use it. So it's pretty cool.
Okay. The cool thing about this, though, is that they're doing, in addition to the programming, they're doing the creative, they're doing the architecture. They're not just checking code line by line. They're actually doing a significant amount more.
Yeah, and of course I give them some help with that. But I have not written a single line of code for this application. This all comes out of our crew internally in-house.
That's fantastic. Who qualifies to come to your school, and how can people get more information about it?
Anyone that's on the autism spectrum. So we have a large percentage of Asperger's. We definitely have a good population that are truly autistic. Love them all. It's a great gang. I've got the best job in the world coming here to be with them every day. But if you'd like more information, you can certainly go to the website at www.npitx.org. And you can also reach out to Gary Moore, who is the company president. I'm the CEO, he's the president, at 972-900-9476.
Wow. Oh, man, that is just such positive, encouraging news. Dan, I want to thank you so much for what you're doing for our special kids, and I want to thank you especially for what you're doing for our whole community here. Thanks for coming on today and giving us the update.
All right, thank you, Craig.
And thank you, Autism Hangout. I'll be back again soon with another positive message on Movin' Out.